Hi, my name is Mike, and I'm here to read a comic. And today's comic is The Incredible Hulk, King Size Annual number 7, dated, I don't see the month, dated 1978. Yeah, I don't know what month it came out. I think it was a summer issue. Okay, we take a look at the cover. This issue is so much fun. I love this issue. I love the story. I love the art. I love pretty much everything in it. And we could see it's a John Byrne cover. We see that the Hulk is joined by two other heroes in the Marvel Universe, Iceman and the Angel. At this point, both of these characters were, I think they were on hiatus. After the Champions had been canceled, the two they gravitated the two characters to the Defenders, where they stayed until eventually X Factor was created. But I think there was a period where these two characters were fairly dormant, so they're taking advantage of them. They took really good advantage of these two. These two probably had. I don't think these two have been in a better adventure, minus say some of the X-Men stuff. We see. So I'm going to go into the story. They're playing up the fact that the Hulk is doing well in the ratings at this time. The Bill Bixby TV show was on. I love that show. I watched that show for years, so I was a huge fan of it. Every week, I think the cover was also. I think Bob Layton was also played it. He inked the cover. I think he did a good job. Him and Byrne and him really kind of meshed well. Same way. Before I go to the story, we take a look at the ad of one of the big summer releases at the time. This is the Bad News Bears goes to Japan. I never liked any of the sequels. I loved the original. I remember, I have such great memories of watching the Walter Matthau version, but I never cared for the sequels. So we take a look, we see the splash page. The title of this issue is The Evil That Is Cast. And we see the writer is Roger Stern. Roger Stern wrote a lot of great stuff in the late 70s, early 80s for Marvel. He did a great job with this story here. The coolest thing the Angel ever did was in this comic book. We see the penciler was John Byrne. He's also listed as the co-plotter. So Byrne had a lot of say in what happened in this comic book, because he's the guy who's going to draw it, and he's the guy who's going to structure the story. This is sort of how Wolverine became very popular in the X-Men comic, because when the new X-Men were rebooted, it was actually Marvel thought Nightcrawler was going to be the breakout star. But when John Byrne got control of the art duties of the X-Men, he started featuring Wolverine more and more. And that's how Wolverine gained his popularity, is because Byrne was saying, no, forget Nightcrawler, focus on Wolverine. And Chris Claremont, to a degree, had to go along with it. Otherwise, he wasn't going to get John Byrne to draw that comic. And yeah, he needed John Byrne to draw that comic to make it such a classic run. So anyway, going back to the story, we see the Angel. He's watching a newscast, CBS newscast. We see Walter Cronkite there, who was America's newsman at the time. He's doing a story on the Hulk. So, and we see this image of the Hulk where he is raging. Literally, this entire comic book, the Hulk is a raging crackhead. He is raging like Tony Soprano level raging.
He talked to you all, poor you.
In this entire comic. This is one of the reasons why I love it. We see here that Walter Cronkite's reporting that the Hulk is at the Hulkbuster's base. He's being held there. He's choosing to stay for treatment, and that whatever menace that the Hulk is, it may be currently reduced at some point. So the Angel's kind of watching the story. Then his girlfriend comes in. The Angel, I think he's in Colorado or in New Mexico. He has this amazing like penthouse that's situated on atop of these huge cliffs. If I'm remembering correctly, this home might have been based on Bob Hope's home. Bob Hope had this kind of like this spaceship type home, and it was something to see. And I think this fantasy penthouse that's built into the Colorado Rockies, Rocky Mountains, I should say, is probably based on that. Also, the Angel has a TV set that no one else had, considering how large it is. So anyway, the Angel's girlfriend, Candy Sutherland, she says, hey, you got a call, and it's Bobby on the other line. Candy's aware of who the Angel is, so he doesn't need to hide his huge wings. And also at this point, the Angel, he came out with his identity. So at this point, he stopped caring that people knew that, he was this super rich guy. He was not hiding who he was anymore, which was kind of a brave stance for a mutant to take at that time. So anyway, it turns out that Bobby, who's Iceman, these two have been teammates for years in the X-Men. He's dating a new girl, and the girl, and I told the girl, hey, I know you, I'm good friends with you, and we can visit you. So she took him up on that offer. Now Bobby may have been pressured to feel like he has to make this arrangement. So he's basically begging his bro, hey, can I go to your house and impress my girlfriend? I might get something out of this. And Angel, being a good bro, says, yeah, sure. If I help you get laid, hey, more power to you. However, this phone conversation is being monitored, and it's being monitored by an individual who looks like his eyes are glowing. He also has kind of the mountain man, deerskin outfit. So we have this going on. We go back to the Angel. He's having his conversation, saying, listen, join us tomorrow. And I'll make all the arrangements by having that spaceship that didn't work out for us with the champions. Yeah, I'm still using it kind of like, to kind of like, traffic people to and from my place. So Candy is told that Bobby and his new girlfriend are going to be coming to visit. Apparently when the younger members are there, it looks like there's a no sex rule. So Candy suggested, listen, any adult time that we're planning on doing, let's do it fast before the kids show up. So that's what's going on there. Then we go back and we look at New Mexico, and this is the Hulkbusters base. CBS News is reporting. They have their reporter on the ground there. I don't know who this reporter is based on. Irwin. They call him Irwin. He might be an actual. Charles Irwin. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that reporter. So anyway, Doc Samson, he's watching this report going live. He's making sure this reporter stays on script. Otherwise, he might have to intervene painfully if this guy, kind of bad-mouths the current leadership of the Hulkbusters base. So anyway, the reporter wants an interview with the Hulk himself, because at this point the Hulk volunteered to stay there, Because normally what would happen is that he would have a negative experience, and this would cause him to leave. But this time they're asking him to stick it out. And they're promising to, quote, cure him and give him a kind of like a happier life. Now, from their point of view, that means getting rid of the Hulk personality and him being, Bruce Banner all the time. The Hulk is not going to go for that. So they're sort of deceiving him by promising him a better future. So there's a little trickery there. So anyway, the Hulk, it turns out, he's raging out of this particular holding, not cell, because they're not imprisoning him, but he doesn't like where he's being housed, so he rips it apart. He's a little claustrophobic, and he reacts badly to it. Again, he's in crackhead mode because he's raging here at this point. Crackheads do not like being confined, and when a crackhead wants to leave a place, they want to leave a place. The reporter is physically impressed with the Hulk, never realizing how large he is. Doc Samson is concerned about, I'm sorry if I called him something else, but Doc Samson is concerned about the Hulk, and he wants to keep him calm. Okay, let's see one of the ads here. The only thing of note here is the Jack Davis artwork here for the Beef Up Your T-shirts with the Slim Jims. The Slim Jims, really weird. I had no interest in eating spicy meat as a kid. I could not imagine, this trying to compete with, Hershey bars. And we see another thing for ices. I remember having a few of these. They really weren't that bad. So then we go back to the story. Doc Samson, he realizes the reporter is in danger. He basically grabs him and he just throws him onto the top of a truck, which is probably more painful than, just simply asking him to leave or just kind of pushing him to the side. He does apologize in advance. Doc Samson, he's talking to the Hulk. The Hulk is not buying any of it. He accuses Doc Samson of talking too much and immediately lashes out. Again, crackheads, they want short conversations. And again, Hulk is in crackhead mode here. Doc Samson, he's not going to get angry. He accepts his lumps, saying, "Listen, hey, bro, I understand. You needed to get something out of your system. You took it out on me. That concussion, I blame myself for it." Hulk immediately is furious. He accuses Doc Samson of talking down to him and talking to him like he's stupid. Again, do not call a crackhead stupid. And Hulk really hates that, so he's just smashing down on Doc Samson. Doc Samson does not appear to be physically injured, but he realizes that he's being really punked on here. We see Doc Samson, he's basically halfway to the ground. Jim Wilson, who's one of the Hulk's friends, and I think it was established that he's a relative of Sam Wilson, the Falcon. He's there at Hulk Buster's base. He's there to calm down the Hulk because Jim is one of the few people that the Hulk trusts explicitly. He trusts Rick Jones and he trusts Jim. Anything they say, Hulk takes as gold. So the Hulk he's happy to see his friends. Every crackhead at some point they do calm down. Hulk is, he's happy that, the status quo of the two of them being friends. Doc Samson's happy that he's not being punked on by the Hulk. And he's willing to take the lumps to make sure that the Hulk never shows up again. So anyway, we go back to, I believe this is New Mexico, the New Mexico Rockies. So both the Hulkbuster's base and Warren's beautiful penthouse is in that state. The spaceship arrives, or I should say the spacecraft that was previously used by the Champions arrives, has two passengers. It's Bobby and the girlfriend. Um, they're immediately greeted by Candy, who is always a very classy host, and such a beautiful woman in her own right. And then suddenly, the person that Bobby's girlfriend, and I think her name is Terry, and Terry is really excited to see the angel. If she had a boner, it would be rock hard at this point. She's totally into the angel. She's kind of gushing like a teenage girl to him. So it's kind of apparent that she's more interested in the angel than she really is in Bobby. So we see the two. So we see the three of them. They're at the pool here. Candy is talking to Bobby, talking about Terry and how it's going with her. Candy is making a note that, Terry's maybe a little immature, and Bobby's defending her kind of weakly, saying that, you know what, you might be right, she is immature, but, he's kind of hot. So then the angel shows up. The angel's in his current costume, which is based on the Neil Adams design. This is a really nice costume. For years, the angel usually had the worst costume in the Marvel universe. Candy is really struck by this. She's kind of, seeing Angel, in his, heroic duds, and he's spreading his wings for her, and she's touching it. Candy, Terry is in deep love right here, or in lust, but we see Candy, she notices the visitor, and this is the visitor that was eavesdropping on the conversation a little earlier, and he's going to confront the four, and they notice that he is armed. They're not quite sure why he's there, but at the same time, they're pretty cautious, and they have to deal with this situation kind of delicately. The angel tries to de-escalate things, saying that, listen, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he's a guy shooting at his food, and that he just got lost. He's just asking us for directions. However, it turns out that's not the intent of the intruder. The intruder fires on them. Apparently, this is sort of a laser gun here. So while it misses the two, it does scatter them, and they both appreciate the fact that they're in real danger here, based on just this weapon alone. The angel says, "Listen, we don't know anything about this guy, but we're going to take him on. But we need you two to be safely out of danger." Candy grabs Terry, saying, "Listen, we need to get out of here." Terry actually wants to put up a fight here, saying that, "Listen, if you guys are in danger and there's going to be a fight, we want to be here with you." However, Candy realizes that's kind of suicidal, and that if we would just simply be in the way. It turns out that Candy activates the elevator so they can get out. And it looks like Candy kind of believes that Bobby is Iceman, but she's not 100% sure, because obviously Warren came out with his identity, but Bobby didn't come out with his, at least to Candy or anyone else in the outside world. But Candy suspects who he is. And then he, once the girls are out of sight, Bobby converts into his ice form. Angel is kind of questioning this, because he was trying to hide his identity. But, Bobby's saying, "Listen, at this point, we don't need to worry about this." So this is sort of Bobby eventually coming out as who he is, simply because he just doesn't care enough to hide it anymore. and it's just kind of an inconvenience in situations like this. So he uses his ice powers and he ices up the intruder here. However, the intruder is quite powerful, and he has a blast that frees him from this ice cocoon. And he wants the two, Angel and Iceman, to surrender to him. And he's calling them mutants. So Bobby and Angel kind of get that, okay, this is another mutant hunt. But the Angel points out, while doing the coolest thing he has ever done, points out that, hey, from what we've seen, you're not too human yourself. And based on the way he's drawn. But what he does here, the Angel, he takes the diving board and he snaps it in two, and he uses the diving board to swat at the intruder. This is, first of all, the Angel has never shown this type of strength before. And secondly, I had to admit, this is really cool imagery here. And like I said, this is the coolest thing the Angel has ever done. So then the intruder, there's a loud metal sound when the Angel makes contact with the intruder. They hear the clank. So they know at least whoever they're fighting is using body armor. The individual falls into the pool. Bobby freezes the pool using his ice powers. It seems like the intruder is incapacitated at the moment. So, on one hand, they kind of have to think what to do with this very powerful individual. That's one of the things in the Marvel Universe I never really understood. Like, they're talking about calling the regular cops and having the regular cops take care of this. I mean, really? Based on what you saw, you think like some overweight deputy can handle a menace like this? However, as the Angel and Iceman are congratulating themselves, as Iceman's flexing on his hot girlfriend, it turns out there's a cracking sound coming from the pool, and there's a huge power beam breaking out of the ice, and then we see a sentinel, and they immediately recognize it as such. However, they're slow to realize just how large this sentinel is. So normally they don't seem to be overly worried about the sentinels because they have beaten them twice. Although I think Angel's being a little too self-confident here. However, Iceman notices immediately that, hey, they might be in extra trouble. And before I go back to the story, I'm going to take a look at bullpen bulletins. Okay, Stan's talking about some deals that Marvel did in Japan, where there was an exchange of merchandising properties. This is when Marvel came out with titles like the Shogun Warriors, and there were a few others that were based on Japanese toys. And at the same time, Japanese film companies, whoever they made the deal with, they were allowed to develop shows based on the Marvel characters intended for Japanese viewers. And that's sort of why you have like Japanese Spider-Man, where the webbing was like literally as thick as rope. It's actually fun. I saw a few of those episodes. Okay, so the first item, they're talking about Petra Goldman, and she contributed to the Beatles story, which is a Marvel Super Special. So that was like a graphic novel based on the career of the Beatles. Because in one part, because the Beatles still they could still sell stuff. Also, I believe Paul McCartney was a big fan of Marvel, So that may have contributed to why they had done that project. The next item is about Don McGregor, talking about how, his wife is about to give birth to a child. So Don McGregor, he wrote a lot of great stuff. He was very wordy. I remember picking up some of his comics and just the amount of writing, and it was amazing to me. So they're talking about a new character, Paladin, that's going to be in Marvel Premiere. He was introduced in Daredevil. I guess they were trying this character out. They thought maybe they had something here. They clearly didn't, because the character was, completely forgotten. But you can see this is sort of how they would roll out characters that they had a lot of promise with or for. There's another item about the Hulk and the large size magazine. I bought those. They were for $1.50 at the time. Again, Marvel wanted people to buy pricier items, and this comic was 60 cents, but they would rather you buy something that was $1.50. So that's why they were always kind of pointing out the magazines. Talking about Simon & Schuster, they reprinted some early Doctor Strange in paperback. I remember those. I had some of those books. They were nice. I think the Conan ones, they used, they actually used real original art. Okay, talking about the Mighty Marvel Fun book, and a few items about Conan. Conan was coming up to the 100th issue. John Buscema was very happy about that. And they're talking about John Byrne. John Byrne, who drew this issue, amazing job. They're talking about how his work has become more and more popular. And they're just talking about the Beatles again. Okay, so go back to the story. You see this beautiful drawing of the unveiling of our villain, and it's Master Mold. Master Mole was the head Sentinel. So when Larry Trask built the original Sentinels, he built a King Sentinel. And this is the King Sentinel right here. And he's saying that it's his sacred destiny to rid the Earth of all mutants. So they see that the Angel and Iceman, who were confident about beating, say, quote, regular Sentinel, they realize they might be outmatched here. And Master Mold, he reaches out for the Angel. The Angel barely gets out of his grasp. So he was lucky he wasn't caught right there. The Iceman tries a strategy where he absorbs the heat that's in the air. And of course, the absence of heat will cause basically cold. And we see that the Iceman is using this technique to sort of freeze over Master Mold. And Master Mold's kind of impressed by this. He said, hey, you may be a mutant, and I look down on you, and I have this program to murder you, but I'm pretty impressed with you too. But the thing is that because of this state that Iceman's in, he is vulnerable to a blast of cold air himself. So actually, cold was used to decapacitate Iceman here. The Master Mode is pointing out the irony of this, and then he secures Iceman in his own body. Apparently there's a compartment where he can store captured mutants. Then Master Mole notices that the Angel is flying off, and he's taking this as him trying to escape. He says, "There's no escape for me. Again, I have that sacred destiny to fulfill." really great artwork of the Sentinel taking off, and particularly with these big boots blasting off. The two ladies, Candy and Terry, they see the Angel and the large Sentinel racing off, and Terry is not the sharpest tool in the tool shed, because she doesn't understand why the Sentinel would want Bobby. Because she's saying, hey, Warren's important, but who cares about Bobby? That's basically what she's saying here. So after this adventure, I don't see these two lasting too long. However, we're treated some really great artwork here of the Angel flying off and trying to stay ahead of Master Mold. This is pretty taxing on the Angel, because in the past, the Angel has shown that he can sometimes get away from the Sentinels, but at some point I think the Sentinels do catch up to him. But he does give them a good chase. So anyway, the Angel has a plan, and as he's flying for his life, the Sentinel just burst his way through any barriers. So one particular plateau that the Angel had to fly around, Master Mold would just simply blast through it. And Angel's thinking, and he recalls that, hey, this is the stuff that the Hulk would do. And then he realizes, hey, the Hulk is at that military base that's in my state. And it's just a few 100 miles away, and if I can stay out of this robot's grasp until then, my plan for help might work. So he's kind of dragging the Hulk into this, kind of hoping that the Hulk will bail him out. So the Angel is really pouring it on here, and he is flying so fast and at such a speed that the Hulkbuster's radar is picking him up on their radar. But the thing is, with Master Mold right behind him, the radar is also picking him up too. And then that's when that loud bleep comes. So it turns out that the Air Force, they want to know what's going on. So they sent out two of their aircrafts to investigate. They both see the Angel. He's flying in one direction. The planes are flying, the jets, I should say, are flying in another. And then they suddenly realize that Master Mold is flying directly at them. So they just both barely get out of the way. They don't know what this is. So I guess the Sentinels were kind of known, but they really weren't in the conscious of most of the public. Because I think, Stephen Lang kind of kept what he was doing secret, but I think Larry Trask, he was televising his Sentinel exploits. So anyway, the Angel, he makes it to Hulkbuster's base. The alarm goes off. Doc Samson comes out. He's very concerned. He wanted the place silent because the Hulk was napping, and the Hulk doesn't like loud noises, and you never wake up a crackhead. And that's basically what Doc Samson is saying. So he's like, why are the sirens going off? Then he sees the Angel. The Angel's out of breath. At this point, the Angel taxed himself to his physical limits. Doc Samson kind of sort of recognizes the Angel, because he asks him, are you the Angel, with a question mark? And he points out that, he looks terrible, that he's exhausted, and the Angel is saying that, basically he's coming, he'll be here in a few moments, and Doc Samson's saying, who? And he's greeted by who with a blast. And the Sentinel warns Doc Samson not to interfere with him. The Sentinels have the ability to detect who is a mutant and who is a superpowered human. And um, guys like, Doc Samson, Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, they're classified as superpowered humans because they weren't born human. They weren't born mutants, I should say, but they became superpowered, and they're not considered the anomaly that mutants are. So anyway, Doc Samson, he sees that the large sentinel is picking the angel up. During that brief time, Doc Samson and the angel, they bonded. Doc Samson takes a swing at the sentinel, hitting him in the boot. It looks like Master Mold just kind of swats Doc Samson away. Doc Samson flies through the housing unit that the Hulk is in. So Hulk is wanting to know what this noise is. He sees Doc Samson basically kind of being just pushed around again. And before I go back to the story, look at this kind of in-house ad. Marvel, merchandising their characters and selling them on T-shirts. Yeah, I would have liked to have something like this. I don't think we had the money even for this. We were poor when I was reading this comic. So anyway, we see that Master Mold has secured the angel. So this is his second mutant captured. Now, as Master Mold is kind of going through the motions and taking care of his business, the Hulk is pissed off. And the Hulk blames Master Mold for all the noise that woke him up from his nap. He's taking some swings at Master Mold. What pissed the Hulk off was that Master Mold called the Hulk, quote, little man, and basically told him to mind his own business. Do not do this to a crackhead. And the Hulk is furious. And then Master Mode, to sort of rub it in, he just casually kicks the Hulk because again he senses the Hulk isn't a true mutant. He flies off. Master Mold is kind of pleased with himself. The Hulk is wet here. Again, he's taking a forced bath. Again, don't force a crackhead to do anything. And Hulk is furious that he's wet again. He takes this really personal, and he jumps off to intercept Master Mold. Doc Samson sees this, and because he's as close to the Hulk's strength as you can maybe be, it's established that he's not as strong as the Hulk, but nevertheless he does have Hulk-like abilities. Both of them are jumping toward Master Mold. The Hulk makes contact and grabs onto his boot. Doc Samson isn't able to reach Master Mold, so he just falls back to Earth. Again, he survives this, but again, he's just been taking a beating in this issue. This is so concerning that General Ross comes out. I never fully understood when Hulk agreed to being at the Hulkbusters base. I never understood why they kept General Ross around, because I would think that if there was one person that was going to piss the Hulk off, it would be that guy. But apparently he got injured, and but nevertheless, Colonel Ross, he's kind of ignoring his injury, his rib injury, which can actually be kind of painful because it hurts every time you breathe. He sees Doc Samson. Doc Samson is still alive, but he feels a little humiliated. He's been taking a beating in this issue. General Ross, who kind of looks like he's lost a lot of weight here. He just says, "Oh well, okay," and we go back to the Hulk. Hulk is holding on to Master Mold. He's absolutely furious. He doesn't care how high this robot can fly. He's going to get revenge, and he starts tearing into Master Mold's boots, the outer part that's protecting his robotics. Master Mold notices this, and he says that, listen, if I gave this guy some time, he might do some real damage to my system. However, he feels that he's reaching a part of space where it's not going to be an issue. And it looks like it isn't, because they're out of Earth's atmosphere, which means that the Hulk can't breathe at this point. And he probably has enough oxygen in his body already that he can survive without breathing for an elongated period, but he still can't talk here. I'll say one thing. I know people had mentioned this before. John Byrne they said he doesn't draw great hands. And looking at this panel here, this hand is so much bigger than it should be. So anyway, again, it doesn't mar from the great job that Byrne and Layton did. So we see another cool picture of Master Mole. He's flying into space. And then we see a great layout here of Master Mold flying into the space headquarters that's set up on this asteroid here. So then the story starts with the captured mutants waking up, because all three of them are unconscious. The Hulk's able to survive without breathing for a while, but in this case he kind of lost consciousness though. We see Master Mole. He's kind of informing the mutants that, you've been captured, and I'm going to be looking out for more of your type. And that you better enjoy where you are, because you ain't escaping. The Hulk is being held in a tube that was designed to hold the Blob. So I guess that's the best that he was able to find in terms of a holding cell for the Hulk. Then they noticed something very odd about Master Mole. He's sort of gloating here, and then as he's walking off, he starts laughing. And Bobby can't believe what he's hearing, because the Sentinels of the past generally didn't have much of a personality. So this is sort of an unusual display of emotion he wasn't expecting. However, the Angel isn't focused on that. He's more focused on the Hulk, because the Angel's tube is right next to the Hulk's. He's noticing that the Hulk is waking up. The Hulk is not happy about where he is. He immediately burst out of the tubing, because what was designed to hold the Blob is not going to necessarily hold the Hulk. And they make it very clear that the Hulk broke this holding cell pretty easily. And he also did it in a way that freed the Angel. However, Bobby's still in his tube, but the Angel's going to go to the controls and free him. I guess from the previous adventures with the Sentinels, I think maybe the Angel has sort of a grasp on this type of technology. So anyway, the Iceman's free, the Hulk's free, the Angel's free. The Hulk is raging here. So, I mean, he's like, this is Tony Soprano type raging. And the Hulk, rather than walking through doors, he's going to create them. So he's just bursting through walls just to basically go from one room to another. Now, this is kind of an interesting comment here from both Iceman and Angel. And it shows that someone in the creative team, they sort of didn't do their proper homework. Because we see the Angel is amazed by the strength that the Hulk is displaying. Mind you, in issue number 66, the Angel encountered the Hulk. So this is not the first time he's ever seen the Hulk. But based on what's written here, the person who wrote, Roger Stern apparently forgot got that issue. Now Iceman should be surprised by how strong the Hulk is, because in issue 166, Iceman didn't go out on the mission because he was cock blocking Havoc from Laura Dane. So I think that might have been the first time in comic book history where cock blocking was the given reason why, a superhero could not go on a mission. And what was worse about that issue, number 66, was that Bobby had the nerve to say amen when Professor X was saved by whatever thing the other X-Men had to get. Bobby did not bother going on that mission because he was worried about maybe his girlfriend waking up and liking some other guy. So, Professor X, what was it? What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, Iceman, he's talking about when the Professor X told him how the Hulk also fought the Juggernaut. Yeah, that was Hulk number 172. Okay, so continue with the story. The Hulk is continuing to burst through walls, I should say. Then they see a window out here, and apparently they can see that they're in outer space, and they're seeing the Earth from Earth's orbit. This isn't the first time these two have been on a space station, but nevertheless, it's kind of scary. Because you're like, how the hell are we going to get back down to Earth? The Hulk isn't worried because apparently he has leapt from further distances. So basically hitting the Earth's ozone layer and going through the what's it called? The atmosphere wouldn't bother the Hulk. But Angel points out that neither one of them could withstand that fall. So they need a more conventional way to get down. So the Angel says he's going to look in one direction, and he asks Bobby to kind of like look over the Hulk and kind of keep track of what he's doing. And then the Angel turns around and he sees the Hulk has already decided that he's going to do something different. Once again, that crackhead determination and stubbornness. So the Hulk is just going to do what he wants to do. Bobby realizes that it's a lost cause to try to reason with him, and he just follows him. There's some proportion problems with this drawing. Like, these hands are just so big compared to the rest of him. So, even the best artists aren't perfect, and nor should they be. Again, we see the Angel flying through this orbital space station. He's amazed by the technology that he's seeing, and that they may be in big trouble here, but they have to stop this entity. So anyway, Iceman and Hulk. They're making a lot of racket, mostly the Hulk. Iceman's trying to explain to him that maybe they should try a little more stealth and to be a little bit more quiet. Hulk doesn't care about that. He's just simply going to smash his way into whatever looks like some type of exit. And then the two of them accidentally come across Master Mold himself. And Bobby's impressed with the technology. He's looking at it. He sees that this is basically a larger version of Cerebro. So not only does Professor X have a machine that can seek out mutants, so does Master Mold. The Hulk just sees robot here. Iceman's saying, hey dude, you're at a 7. I kind of need you at a 2. Hulk isn't hearing it. He just slaps Iceman away, saying, you're not the boss of me. And by the way, you're really kind of cold. I don't like you. And he doesn't care if the robot knows he's there. He wants the robot to know he's there. Master Mold, Hulk leaps at Master Mold, hits him from behind. Master Mold can't believe that anyone would actually attack him, and he's asking who would dare do this. The Hulk's saying, "Hey, I dare," and this beautifully drawn artwork here of the Hulk smashing into Master Mold. Master Mold is gonna put up a fight. He blasts the Hulk to kind of stop him from attacking him. Master Mold is continuing to blast the Hulk with a ray, and Master Mold's saying, "Listen, you should have already been finished." The Hulk says, "No, I'm not finished." He's continuing to fight. Again, he is absolutely raging at this point. The Hulk is just continuously on the offense. He's continuously attacking Master Mold, and he's basically saying, "Listen, you need to acknowledge I'm the boss of you, and I'm your papa, and that's that." The Hulk, he jumps and he tries to attack Master Mold. Master Mold is able to use both his blast, and he knocks the Hulk out. Master Mold is just kind of showing some annoyance with the Hulk here. And Iceman knows that a direct confrontation won't help, so he actually attempts to talk to Master Mold here, saying that, "Listen, there are a lot of things here that are really weird, like Sentinels laughing or showing surprise. Why are you showing these human emotions?" And the Sentinel shares his backstory, and basically saying that at one time he was actually Dr. Stephen Lang, and he headed a project that was determined to wipe out mutants, and he reactivated the Sentinels. This was handled in, I think, issues from 96 to 100. Those are some great issues. So anyway, what's happening is they're recapping the events that happened in X-Men 100. That's basically when Cyclops and Marvel Girl were confronting Stephen Lang himself. The other X-Men were fighting the X-Sentinels. And as the X-Sentinels were being defeated, Marvel Girl basically took control of Stephen Lang's little arm craft, his aircraft, and basically smashed him into a monitor. For the most part, it looked like Marvel Girl or Jean Grey murked him right there. But apparently he survived this blast. But obviously he was in terrible shape. And he thought he was about to die. And, in one spiteful move, before he bit it, he was determined to activate Master Mole. I guess the Sentinel was dormant until it was needed, and it needed this sophisticated device to activate Master Mole, which Lang puts over his head. But this part was explained in the X-Men issues, is that the difference between the Trask Sentinels and the Lang Sentinels was pretty great. Apparently, Lang did not have all of the Trask notes, so there were deviations in the designs of all the technology, all the Sentinel-related technology. And I think that was explained why the Lang Sentinels were so inferior to the Trask Sentinels. And then what happens here is that during the process of activating Master Mole, it turns out that Lang kind of has this LSD trip. And apparently what had happened, that rather than just simply activating Master Mole, his brain waves, his consciousness imprinted itself on master mold circuits. So basically, Stephen Lang's consciousness was was transported into this master mold, this large robot. And then we see that the angel is also overhearing this, and he calls Master Mold out, saying the story is baloney. And the angel is saying that when S.H.I.E.L.D. came back to reclaim the space platform, they found Lang, and they found that he was still alive. And they say that Lang is still alive, but that he's in a vegetated state. And he said, an angel is saying, because of this, you're not Stephen Lang. And the Sentinel is kind of taken surprised by this news. He's saying that, you know, his mind, his memory, everything that he thinks is Stephen Lang, and that he must be Stephen Lang. So what I'm trying to figure out is, why is Master Mold kind of freaking out over this? Because it doesn't make sense, because whether Lang's body is dead or not, it doesn't affect Master Mold and the fact that he has Lang's consciousness. I can see if he was upset, saying that, oh, I was going to survive, then maybe I wouldn't have done that angry, spiteful move of trying to activate Master Mold. If I hadn't done that, my brain would be fine, and maybe I'd recover, and I can lead a life after that. But the thing is, that's not what Master Mold's complaining about. He's just saying because the body's still alive, he's not Stephen Lang. That makes no sense. So anyway, the Hulk takes this opportunity of distress by Master Mold to attack Master Mold. He knocks him off his boot. Hulk says, I don't really care who you are. I'm just going to smash you all the same. The Hulk, again, just in crackhead mode, is just destroying Master Mold here, just going through it. Because Master Mold has a somewhat human-shaped body, both the Angel and Iceman are somewhat disgusted by this. Because on one hand, they know obviously this is a robot, and but at the same time, it kind of looks like he was torn apart here. Angel suggests that maybe we should kind of leave this place. Hulk kind of agrees, saying that there's no more fun smashing this thing. So the three of them kind of leave the chamber, and they're just simply looking for an escape hatch. However, it turns out that Master Mold is moving, despite the considerable damage done to him. Okay, so then we see, this is the last part of the story. The three heroes here, they do find an escape capsule here. The Angel is confident that all three of them will fit here and that they can use this to escape. And Bobby's pointing out, hey, it's going to be just like Star Wars. However, there's a communication from Master Mold, and basically he's saying, listen, you guys are never going to escape. I've locked all the capsules, so there's no way you can unjam it and leave. And Master Mold's saying, listen, if I have to die in this robot body, I'm going to take you guys with me. Hulk just sees his enemy here. He immediately lashes out, as you know a crackhead would. The Angel's trying to talk to him, trying to reason with the Hulk. Not going to work. Bobby recognizes this, so he decides he's going to do something and uses the Hulk's anger to help him and Warren. And that is, they antagonize the Hulk, and Bobby throws snowballs at the Hulk, wanting him to get angry with them. And what would happen is, once they close the hatch, the Hulk would just simply kick the capsule free. So it didn't matter whether it was jammed or not. The Hulk's kick loosened the capsule. The capsule is heading to Earth. The Hulk is like, listen, if you guys want to go, go. And the Hulk is being sucked out of the space station. However, he's holding on. As this drama is happening, all the Hulk is thinking about is beating up on the robot. So, so even during this perilous situation, you know, Hulk's crackhead determination was focused on that robot and getting even. So we see that the capsule, it's coming closer and closer to Earth. It's hitting the atmosphere. Obviously, things burn up there. Iceman is using his powers to keep both of them cool. The heat's bothering both of them. So despite all this cold, you know, these guys are feeling it. And then finally they hit the Earth's atmosphere. Now they're just in free fall, and they splash down in the Atlantic Ocean. And then we can see the Atlantic. It's pretty raining there. The guys are still in the capsule. Eventually the capsule surfaces, and the two heroes come out. Bobby Drake creates an ice lifeboat here, and the two of them get on it, because you figure the capsule at some point is going to start to sink. Then above them, they see this huge explosion go off, and their thoughts are of the Hulk, because these two knew it was the space station that blew up, and their thoughts are with the Hulk, and they're not sure whether he was there or not. They do feel bad that he may have perished. They're talking about how great a guy he was and how there's no one who could survive. You know, Bobby said, I just hope he just, you know, kind of just got a few last licks in. But we see as the two are on their ice raft, a green hand appears from the sea, and it turns out it's the Hulk. And the Hulk explains that the floor came loose under him, and that he couldn't whack that robot a few more times. So in the only panel where the Hulk shows any type of happiness, the Angel and Iceman congratulate the Hulk, saying, hey, you know, we're happy you made it and everything's fine, and that you need to go back to the Gamma base where your friends are. So then the Hulk, he leaps off the raft to go back to the Gamma base. I have no idea whether they know they're going in the right direction or not. And Angel and Iceman, they're in the middle of the Atlantic, not really knowing where they are. And they're kind of taking this kind of lightly, a little too lightly, so because they're just talking about the girlfriend and wondering, you know, whether she'll be impressed with an Iceman rather than an Angel. And that's kind of how the story ends. Yeah, because this is a king size, there's no letters page. So that's it. That's my review of The Incredible Hulk, king size annual number 7. And I hope to have more reviews up soon. Bye.